Hello everybody, I'm Matt with Graco. The purpose of this video is to explain the components and the applications and the advantages of each of the two main types of metering technology with automatic lubrication systems. The purpose of an automatic lubrication system is to take away the manual lubrication, either with grease or with oil. The majority of the world's lubrication points are still lubricated manually, and there's a lot of drawbacks to manual lubrication. You don't know exactly how much gets lubricated. The frequency is usually very low. That means with automatic lubrication, you increase worker safety because they're not going to have to crawl around a piece of equipment, either in plant, off-road, or on-road mobile applications to find and lubricate all the grease points. We found through the years that with a Graco automatic lubrication system, things last conservatively at least 4 times longer with an automatic lubrication system. You're also going to use between 50 and 80% less lubricant than you would with a manual system. You're going to lubricate much more frequently with much smaller amounts. What does that add up to? That adds up to a huge cost and labor savings for you, the end user. Let's get into the componentry of an automatic lubrication system. Every Graco automatic lubrication system consists of 3 main components. One is the pump, where you have to hold the lubricant. In our case, the 2 main types of lubricants are grease and oil. This is a grease pump, so we're holding the grease. The second purpose of the pump is to dispense this lubricant at a certain pressure. So this grease pump pushes the grease out to the second of the 3 components, which is called the metering valves. The purpose of metering valves, either in this format, which is called single line parallel, or this format, which is called series progressive, is both of these have the exact same purpose. The purpose of these both is to give each of the lubrication points exactly the volume of lubricant at a high frequency that's going to be optimal for their lubrication needs. But these do things differently. So let's start with the single line parallel metering valves. The benefits of these metering valves are once you install them, you can mechanically adjust the output. So if your lubrication point needs just a little bit more or a little bit less, you can do that with these. You can also see visually if these are doing something because there's pins right in the front. And when those pins extend, and then when they retract back into the injectors, we call them, that tells you that a lubrication event has happened, or in other words, grease or oil has gone to your lubrication point. A couple other advantages of single line parallel are that they can be expanded at any time, and they can be contracted. So if you want to add 3 more injectors on your lubrication system, just splice in and put a new bank of 3 injectors. Conversely, you can always take one of these out. If you take one injector out, just put a plug in and the other ones are going to act normally. That's the advantage of injectors or single line parallel. The other type of metering valve technology is this. This is called series progressive. And the main advantage of series progressive over single line parallel is that you can get full system feedback, including electronic feedback, back to your controller. How we do that is we count the number of times the pistons go back and forth inside these cylinders, and then if you get the required number of cycles, then everything is well, your pump shuts off, and it's good. But if you don't get the required number of cycles, then you get a fault on the controller to say something is wrong with your automatic lubrication system, go and check the points. And then you can see on the front of this divider valve assembly, we have these things sticking out of the front. These things are called performance indicators. These are optional, but they are highly recommended because they add tremendous value to an automatic lubrication system. We have 2 types. The first type I'll point out is the one on the bottom that has the pin that comes out. This pin, this whole performance indicator is called a reset indicator with memory. The memory part is even though the pressure gets relieved, the pin indicates which of your lubrication points is not getting lubricated. So from a troubleshooting perspective, all the technician has to do is to walk up to this divider valve, and that technician can see within 1 second exactly which of your lubrication points is not getting lubricated. And you can have hundreds of lubrication points in a system, so it really aids in troubleshooting. If you use this type of performance indicator, the reset indicator with memory, it will still shut off your system and you will still get a fault on the controller. Now, the other type of accessory performance indicator is this small one. This is up in the top. This is called a relief to atmosphere performance indicator. The purpose is similar. When a lubrication point gets blocked, this performance indicator shows something. In the case of this one, lubricant comes out of the front face of this. You see that hole right in the front there? So it lets lubricant, grease, or oil come out of it, but because the grease, this is a relief valve basically, it does not stop all the other pistons inside this divider valve assembly from moving, which means the drawback of the smaller one is you will not get a fault on the controller. But a blockage of this point, conversely, the benefit is you will still get lubricant to all of your other points. With the taller of the two, with the reset indicators with memory, if one of these points stops lubricating a point, then all the points stop lubricating. That's the definition of a series system, and the name of this again is called a series progressive system. The third component, I alluded to it before, but in this application it's built into the pump. The third component of an automatic lubrication system is the controller. You have to have a controller in an automatic lubrication system to tell the pump when to start, to tell the pump when to stop, and then optionally, but to add big benefit to your system, is to give a warning or a fault to say that you have low level in your reservoir. Or if you have something like this, it can tell you if there's a blockage in your system. It'll shut everything down and say, go fix the system. That is an overview of Graco automatic lubrication systems. Thanks for watching.